All right, what is up, YouTube? We're back again with another episode. So today we're going to talk about gold, and we're going to talk about the market moves. And also, we're going to talk about the French election. So let's get straight into it. I was able to purchase some shares in gold, and also purchase some shares in Barracuda Networks. So we see Barracuda Networks. We definitely see this oversold. Let's go to a 1-year chart. On a 1-year chart, we definitely see that there's a intense amount of sellers coming in and dumping stock left and right. So this definitely does open up an opportunity for us to definitely jump in. So we see a price, target of $20. We pierced $20 today, but this is 15 minutes behind, so I'm not sure if it's going to show it. So we did pierce, part of that $20 today, and I was able to average about 19.90. I'm not, I really don't care about the short-term moves. I'm looking towards next week. If next week we can break 20, the next step will be 21, and we will try to fill in these gaps right here, and see if we can get back to regular levels. So for right now, I'm definitely gonna hold this for a little longer. And also, I probably might cut the video short because I do have a presentation I need to practice for. We see gold. I bought gold in UGT. I bought gold in the middle of a breakdown. I wasn't, the market was kind of falling down. I was like, okay, this could be a safety trade I could play. I was filled in gold about 10:36, and around that time, that's I think 5 minutes after gold just completely broke down, and I think it went to low as like 10:01. I did not, I was not scared out of the trade. I continued to hold, and now I'm continuing, to stay holding for a slight market uptick or a gold uptick in the bids, simply because or I would say the French election might have some kind of negative impact on the market, and now they're rushing to go ahead and do the election. So we might see the market react later on in the week, depending on what the decision is. If we get an upset, we will see it in the market. We won't be, too safe to where, none of those things doesn't affect us. But, at some point, these things start to affect the market, and, that will definitely show up. So let's look at the price for gold. We did see a breakdown. So typically a breakdown is whenever you can see a large bar piercing through support. And if we go back here, we see, small support levels right here. We see a double bottom and support right there, 1282, and we can also see a small support right there at 1280. So like I said, breakdowns are usually followed with large bars piercing through support, and that is definitely what's happening here. And we have a large bar trying to pierce through resistance, and that could be a recovery trade that we might see throughout the day. So I'm definitely going to keep holding on to gold until I feel comfortable with the gains. But for right now, I am definitely taking a loss. I will definitely check in and see what the price is for gold. Right now, the price for EUGT is about 10.17. The RSI started to I would say the RSI started to reset itself just about. So gold was oversold at about 10.20, around 10.30. That's what really made me want to buy. And we see a huge breakdown in the gold prices, and gold became I would say gold was out of the oversold area for EUGT at around 10.20. So when you're following the RSI for these leverage ETFs, they sometimes sway back and forward, and you really have to pay attention to that. So let's check in and see how I'm doing on my positions. I haven't checked today. I wanted to make sure you guys were here when I did check for my positions. So let's see what we have here. All right, we see that, we're positive for XIV, almost up 3,100, almost up, I would say 3,200. And we see it's filling the gap for 67. Like I said, guys, these stocks are meant to fill gaps, and they definitely will fill the gaps. We see the small temporary gap right here. Let's go to the 1-year chart and see exactly how that did. So now we're back into this trading range. We see a gap down and we see a gap up. Like I said, stocks will gap down, stocks will gap up. Now, if the stock does not gap back up, it tends to fill that gap with a couple days of green bars. But we see it became really bullish on the trade, so these gaps were filled, and now we might be on our way to maybe, I would say, $70 maybe. But we have to definitely get through this week to see exactly how it's going to go. And we do see small resist. I mean, yeah, small resistance right here, 67.37. We can see if that's going to break through today. But that is definitely the next step for us. $70 is definitely the next step. So let's see what else we're doing here. The XRT, we're still, you see, we're up over $100. Remember, I sold half of my position in the XRT. Like I said, I was definitely confident on these positions. And whenever you can read the chart perfectly, like I always do, you want to get behind a really good trade. So we see CUDA, Barracuda Networks. We see we're up $58 on the trade because of the oversold levels. Let's go ahead and check in with CUDA. We see that the stock is definitely oversold on a 1-year chart. So that's definitely a bullish sign for us to go ahead, jump in, and just trade it for about a couple days or so. And we see gold, getting dumped. So let me go ahead and sell my gold position. So, like I said, I was really bearish on gold. And today, you see me dip in and try to, buy some gold. Let's see here if we're going to create a closing order. All right, we're going to go ahead and sell market. We're going to go ahead and take some gains here. So we see the biggest down, we were down a bunch, but okay, we were able to get filled at 26.92. We bought around $25, so $1 a share is definitely a good sign. So we closed out the position with $1,200 for the day, and this is definitely a really good trade. So we want to trust the charts when we do trade, simply because when you get caught up in not using any indicators and not using any tools that they give you, that's usually room for you to definitely open up the door for losses. And we definitely do not want any losses on under our belt. So I'm going to leave the XIV open. We're going to leave this trade open for the duration of the summer, or how long, whatever have you. We're going to definitely leave this trade open, and we're going to see how strong the market gets. And if this is if you want to look for a long-term position, this is definitely one of the stocks you might want to look for a long-term position. As you see, we broke 65. We went lower. I think the lowest we went was 62, and after that we rebounded. Now we're at $67. So the next step will be 70. If the market can definitely get some strength, the next step will be 70, and this is downside protection. So we're gonna close out downside protection. We're gonna get really bullish on the market. Let me go ahead and close out the downside protection, because really I just want to show you guys, how it looks to have downside protection in your portfolio. So we're freeing up some cash with 14 grand in cash. So we see that we're still losing money, but at the same time we're gaining it, right? We're gaining money on positions that I do believe in that will do well later on in the year. So at some point, like I said, these positions will turn positive. You want to pay attention to the things that I buy, because they will turn positive. So we see the SPU. This is definitely a penny stock. We see the PLX. That's definitely a penny stock. And what else do we have? We see HIPH, definitely a penny stock. So we see it up 100% for the day. That's nothing but 10 cents that was made for today, and I think I have 10 cents in the stock. So I would say I recovered my money. So these three stocks, these are things that people do play, and these are the things that people do hold or try to invest in because they see them doing good. On maybe 2 or 3 times out of the day, they check in, they say, wow, this stock is doing really good. They check in and again, they say, wow, the stock is holding, right? And the third time they check, they say, okay, let me go ahead and get in because I see that the stock is definitely successful and it may continue to run. But that's when you become a bag holder, because that is when people start to dump the stock. So we see people start to dump the stock PLX. We see people start to dump the stock of SPU, right? SPU is definitely a stock that was promoted by a group, right? And if you're not in that group, you won't be able to trade it successfully unless you know something that we don't know, right? So we see SPU, PLX, and HIPH. This is definitely a promotion trade, right? So when we see stocks that are getting promoted, we're like, okay, it has to do good, right? Because the stock is getting promoted. But not all the time the stock will do good just because it's promoted. Just because it's promoted does not ensure you 30%, 40% upside. There are some promotions and there are some promoters, or all promoters, that will probably, produce a bad pick sometimes and, will produce a good pick majority of the times. But we want to watch out for the bad picks that they do, hand out. So if you get a sub-zero play like this, you might say, okay, let me throw $100 in here and see what happens. Now we've already, I think this is like week 2 from the promotion, and we see that the stock is not moving at all. We see 100% upside, but at the same time, we were only able to buy at 0002. So let me go ahead and show you exactly how that looks. So we were only able to buy at 0002, and we see that the stock does not move, right? We see all the way back starting from about the 6th of last month, and we see the stock just trade sideways the whole time. We might see a breakout at some point if he does keep pushing for this stock to run up, but these buying volumes definitely must be checked out, because this might be the promoter buying shares for himself, and then once he gets a good promotion, or once he catches a lot of people on a good day, that's when he sells his shares, and that's when you become a bag holder, because you think it's going to keep running up. And we cannot have a mindset that all these stocks are going to continue to run up, because that is definitely something that you do not want to be a part of. Remember, we want to take our gains and we want to get out. So it's as simple as that. Let's check in. Let's check in and see what Snap is doing. It's a quote unquote goodbye, but as we see here, trading in a sideways range, and it'll definitely keep trading at a sideways range. Let's check in with Twilio. Definitely a really good company. We're seeing, like I said, it's going to try that $35 level, right? Until we get to earnings, it's going to try that $35 level. Now, once we get to $35 and earnings come, the company better produce some good numbers, or it better show that it's actually profitable. Because if it doesn't, that's when the stock gets sent back, it gets sent back down, right? And we start to see a breakdown in price. So we see try right here, try right there, and it's going to try it right here. And hopefully the earnings does come out really good to where we can break out of this trading range and we go higher. And the next step will be $40, or we might have trouble here. But thinking to Twilio, how much the stock market news promoted this thing definitely could run higher than $40, especially if you get Jim Cramer to definitely come in and back it up and give it some credibility. So this is exactly how we do it when we want to invest in companies. This is exactly how we want to do it. If we want to trade in companies, if we want to do like a swing trade, this is exactly how we do it. We buy when it's oversold, sell when it's overbought, and now it's getting close to that overbought range. But I don't think this is going to stop this stock from running up. We see it become overbought right here, and we see it make a huge gap. So that's definitely a huge leap. And then we see it try again. So there's definitely some bulls hoping that Twilio definitely does do well. We see the volume definitely increase right here. And we see that, it's a perfect trend up. You see the bottom right here, bottom right there, bottom right there. We definitely want to visualize and get, some education and some practice in with our charting. Oh, wow. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So let's see if we can get our practice in with our charting. So as we see, you see how I'm plotting this perfectly. And this is definitely off the top of my head. From years of using charting, we see that the bottom is right here, and I wanted to make it visual for you guys. So we see a uptick right here, come back down to support, come back down to support, and then we broke through support with probably a small, large bar there, and we pierced through support, and that's usually when a breakdown happens, and we see a gap down, and people don't want to be a part of that trade once we do see a gap down, because that's usually a bearish sign for the stock. So let's see what we have here for our top losers. So we have, I'm not going to do any penny stocks. So we see PLSE, simply because penny stocks, they're definitely, I'm definitely not looking to trade those, simply because that's too much risk and I really don't want to do that. So we see that Pulse Biosciences, I think, this is a biotech company. We see that it became oversold pre-market, and we really want to watch out for those oversold levels at pre-market, because sometimes it does not give us a good reading. Just because you watch the RSI does not mean it will give you a good reading, right? You have to make that judgment call for yourself to go ahead and place that buy order. The chalk and oscillator can give you a bad reading, right? We can see a bad reading from chalk and oscillator, and that can, definitely mess up our judgment to buying a stock, and we definitely could miss out on a buying opportunity. And oh wow, and we see Take-Two software definitely break past $60. I haven't seen that in a while, but let's see right here. 60-20 is definitely the range that we want to watch out for. If so, this thing definitely does break out and go higher. So we see right here, okay. We see it try right here, tried right there, couldn't get it right here, but it's going to try to get it right here. And we're going to see if we, we can get a breakout going here. So definitely glad, definitely glad I caught that on the live stream with you guys. All right, so 60-20 and the orders are coming in, so we might see a breakout here to the upside, but we see that it's becoming heavily bought, and it's definitely a momentum trade. And the reason I got out of this is because 60 was definitely the level that was kind of toppish for the stock. So let's go back. Let's look at our trades. XRT retail sector is definitely doing us really good. Let's see what the chart is saying. If the chart is broken, we're going to get out of this thing. Okay, look at this. Like I said, it's going to break out to the upside. This happens every single time we see a large bar piercing through support, and piercing through resistance, and that is how you get out of a stock, and that is how you make gains. So I might sell early when we might have a little problem right here at 43.23, but I really don't care. Let's go ahead and take profits. $130 is our profit. Let's go ahead and see sell at market. Really don't care. We're up a good chunk. Okay, we got out. Whoa. Okay, we got out at 3 cents higher than the price. So let's check that out. We closed the position out of up $116. So I'm glad you guys are able to see that. When you see what the charts are showing you, you're definitely want to get bullish on the stock. So anytime we do see a double bottom or things like this, a double bottom. So the double bottom is typically this right here, followed by 1. We try it again, 2, and then that's usually when it breaks out to the upside. Now, like I said, we might see a wedge, and that's typically what this is. Stocks will trade in a wedge, and we see it breaking out to the upside. So let's look at some of the retail stocks that it does hold. We see Target breaking out to the upside. 52 was the bottom. 54 is now a breakout period. Well, let's look at JCPenney. Let's see if it's green. JCPenney is definitely green. We see JCPenney tried to do a double bottom here, but it kind of fizzled out, and it looks like we're in a wedge period as well. Looks to sideways trade for a while. Let's check out Lululemon. This was definitely a pretty good trade for me, and I think I still am in the stock. We see right here oversold. Only thing you have to do is hold these stocks when they're oversold. I mean, it definitely doesn't get much harder than that. And as we see, gains are definitely building up for our portfolio. We see that oversold at 49. Now we're getting out of the oversold territory, and now we will have to try this $54 level. We fill the gap for 54. That's when we go back to $60, right? So we want to pay attention to what the charts are telling us, and that's how we really, that's how we make our money, right? We don't make our money off of following other people's picks, because how many people we're talking about the XRT double bottoming here? Like, a lot of stocks are missed out because, they don't bring quote unquote excitement. But if you want to make over 100%, you definitely trade the boring stocks when they definitely give you, some bullish sentiment to them, right? Because we don't want to miss any easy money, right? But we don't want to take any large risk on our money. We don't want to start taking riskier positions just because, you think that the stock is going to do 100%. We don't want to do 100% right then and there, right? It'll be great if we did 100%. Not a lot of people can do 100% in a day. So what that lets you know is that it takes time. You can do 100%, but you have to be in a group that likes to buy up low floats, and it definitely does cost you money to be in those groups. It is definitely not free. So we see a double bottom. XRT happened twice, happened a second time right here, and we're breaking out to the upside. 44 will be probably a problem. 43 to 44 will be a problematic area here. But if you follow the picks, like I was showing you, you're definitely profiting on, the retail sector. a lot of people were bearish on the retail sector. So they were saying, okay, the retail sector is done. It's going to keep going lower. We don't care what they think for a 1 year period or for a 2 year period. We're looking to take gains within a 1 month to 2 month period. And that's how you make money. You have the 1 month to 2 month mindset, and you never get emotionally attached with stocks. You always want to trade without your emotions. Leave your emotions at the door. So Barracuda Networks is definitely a good company, and it's showing bullish sentiment, but at the same time, we're only in it for a couple of weeks at a time, and we're out. We're getting out. I know Apple was definitely a good stock, but as you see, overbought, get out. We see, let's see, Cisco. Cisco is trying to get a bid here, and we're gonna see what's going on here. The software is taking too long to load. So, just like I said, we want to do our own homework. If we do our own homework, we will become more successful than the people that are trying to push you to follow their picks. Because once you start to do your own homework, you see there's no reason to follow anybody else. This is exactly why I don't follow any of the traders, simply because they're full of bullcrap and they just want you to play the stocks that they're playing, because it increases volume and it increases their chances to sell whenever they want to. So that's why I want to leave you guys with. Let's see if Cisco can actually load here. Okay, we see Cisco oversold, bounce. Oversold at what level? We see oversold at 33 or 32, 42 or 41. So we see an oversold level come through. That's when we need to press our buy order and execute the trade and wait until we can actually get comfortable with the profits. After we're comfortable with the profits, we get out of the stock. We don't add, we really don't care what it's going to do for the next month. We don't care what it's going to do for the next 2 years. We want to trade without our emotions, and definitely trying to, buy these stocks and looking for, quick gainers definitely increases your risk. But at the same time, okay, I'm thinking about cutting NUGT simply because 1009 is definitely the level it's settling at. So this will be a 2% loss. I'm gonna definitely take the 2% loss right here. Barracuda Networks is definitely breaking out to the upside. So what happens when you have a loser? You definitely cut those short and you let your winners run. So I'm just about up. I know I bought way too high, so I'm up about 0.08%. Hopefully that turns to 1% by the end of the week, or maybe we'll be up 4%. So I'm really bullish on the trade. We see CUDA is definitely oversold. If this is for you, we definitely want to get a position in for you, and we definitely want to hold something that holds credibility, and we want to hold something that definitely is going to bring buyers into the situation, right? We don't want to buy anything that, we heard anything on YouTube, we heard somebody pushing the stock and things like that. If they're not showing you any fundamentals that, that it's going to bounce, we definitely might want to, we definitely raise a red flag to that. But I'm showing you fundamentals that this stock will definitely run up and it will run higher, right? So we definitely might want to take a look at that. I'm trying to get my friends to go ahead and buy shares in this. I got my friend buying shares at $19.70. Now the price is almost at $20, right? So we want to see people profit. So if you see any fundamental thing that is signaling out to you that it's time to go ahead and buy, you definitely want to buy. And go ahead and comment and tell me how helpful this video was for you guys. Because, I know, I show a lot of videos that stocks are oversold and they typically run higher. So a lot of stocks that I do show, I typically don't, I really don't pull that trigger. But I'm going to start pulling the trigger on every single stock that I show that's oversold. And I'm going to show you guys how you can do 100% easily, right? So with the 100%, with doing 100% a year, it definitely does not come with any emotion trading. It comes with following fundamentals, following your principles, and following your rules. That's all, simple things like that. I know it's really hard for people to go ahead and follow their rules, but at the same time, rules were meant for you to go ahead and follow. So when we want to make money, we look for fundamental reasons to go ahead and press that buy order. And this is why I pressed the buy order for Barracuda Networks. I really wish I would have got in at $19. That would have been a really good trade. I would have probably bought more shares, but for right now, this is definitely a trade that I might increase my position on tomorrow. And we might hear me talk about increasing my position right now, but for right now. I definitely did cut gold. The RSI was telling me something else, and I'm looking at the prices of gold, and it's telling me that gold is going higher, but the NUGT is kind of lagging. But I feel like after I sell NUGT, that's usually when it runs higher. But I really don't care. If we have winners, we want the winners to run, and that is how you make profit. We cut the losers quick, let our winners run. We might increase our position for our winners, and that's how you make profit quick. I know losing on a trade is definitely not anything, not something people want to do, but it definitely does happen. So after it happens, what are you going to do about it? How do you assess, your risk allocation? First, if let's say you lost big on a trade, you might want to step back. Or what I do every time I lose big on a trade, I start to invest in stocks that's going to give me my money back. So that's why you see me buy Apple. That's why you see me buy Take-Two Solutions or Take-Two, Take-Two, the video game player, because it made my money back. And it probably, I would say the losses that I made up for it, and it actually doubled my money, right? So we want to pay attention to those fundamental reasons. And we also want to make sure that we have an investor mindset. So it's, say if, we get busy for a week or two or a month or maybe 6 months, we want to have something, we want to play into something that's going to make us money. And when we follow these oversold signals, this is definitely going to make us some money. Let's check out the stocks I did say was oversold. We see that Grainger is definitely getting hit, but we see 195 was taken out, 192 was the lowest. We might see this thing go even lower, which is definitely dangerous for anybody that's trying to scoop up some shares. We want to wait at least 3 days, and we want to assess it where it's at. But as you see, price target cuts 175. The stock is trading at 195. So that lets investors and traders know that it's still trading at a premium, and that's usually when shorts go ahead and open up positions because they think that the stock's going to come down to that price target that the stock does have. So let's check out Netflix. We do one more stock. All right. So the thing about Netflix is that I told my classmate, I said, I don't buy stocks that are overbought. And he started to buy Netflix when it's overbought. If you listen to the quarter, we see Netflix has had a slow growth in subscribers again. And we see that money is becoming an issue for Netflix. And, it was kind of weak guidance. They're going to report a loss on their second quarter earnings. So he bought at 141. It was at 148. I said, okay. The stock is going to go back down. When it does go back down, we're going to get it at 135 or maybe 140. We see that the stock is trading at 141, and hopefully it breaks down even lower, right? Because we want to do our homework. We want to assess how these stocks are trading, and we want to act on the news that we're given. If a company is saying, okay, we're going to have lower guidance, and we're probably going to lower our guidance, and we're also going to say that the second quarter is going to be slower for us, we might report a loss. That's something that you want to pay attention to. That's something that you want to say, okay, my price target for Netflix for me to buy it has become lower because we're going to report a loss, and that has not been factored in yet. The stock was trading at 145, 146 when the news was reported. The stock traded up at 148, and after that, the stock fell right back down. So this is not priced in yet. If we get a healthy sell-off in the market, this is one of the stocks to go first. So we want to pay attention to that. So, like I said, CUDA is CUDA is the only stock that I'm playing right now, put it like that. And I might increase my size on the position, and that's all I want to update you guys. And we see we made successful trades. If if we're patient, the money will come. If we're impatient, the losses will come. So we see Berkshire Hathaway, we're down about $700. IBM is really the huge problem here. IBM is definitely a losing trade for Warren Buffett and United Continental, whatever with that. Chesapeake Energy, we're down about 200 on the trade. But as we know, oil and gas does go on swings. So we might hold this throughout the summer. A hotter summer is definitely more profits for us. And we see dust. We definitely dumped that. 27 is, it broke 27. That's definitely more money. But we went ahead and passed the position, and we sold for a gain. So we only have 2 losing positions. This right here, these are definitely penny stocks. These are just trades that people get caught up in. If we want to be honest, some people put a lot of money into these stocks, hoping that they will go up the next week or the next month, or maybe it'll be their next quote unquote Google, and they'll probably be a billionaire. People do believe that when they chase these penny stocks and they see that they're up over 100%. I don't want you guys to think that just because you see a stock up over 100%, let's say the stock falls down. Soon as 100%, we go to the next day, the stock falls down. So, like I said, don't trust anybody's picks. Do your homework. I can't push that enough. Do your homework. Do some reading. We want to read. We want to understand the financial reports. We want to understand the balance sheets to these companies, so that way we will understand the weight of the debt and the stock price. That's all I have to say on that. We see $3,000 profit, CUDA $58 profit, but XIV, I might go ahead and buy shares in that. And typically this is a high volatile trade, and you really want to get behind market strength whenever you can, but I will wait until next week until we can get that French election, and we'll see what happens there. So that's all I have for you guys. Take care.